everybody. Sam Goodman coming to you from the palehorsemediaco studios in the sunny and the beautiful downtown Phoenix, Arizona. How are you doing today? I've got to tell you, I'm doing pretty awesome, and I'm going to warn you ahead of time that today is going to be a pretty short episode. And it's just me. I'm flying solo today because I'm recording this on a Thursday. This episode will be out tomorrow. And those of you that know, tonight starts the Haunted Road Trip. So I am running around like a madman trying to get out some content to you and prepare everything for this super amazing, awesome Haunted Road Trip that we have going on. It is going to be absolutely a blast. Before we jump into what we're going to chat about today, do me a favor. Go sign up if you haven't done so. Head over to palehorsemediaco.com or palehorsemedia.co, whichever tickles your fancy, and sign up. If you're listening to this now and you were completely unaware, you were painfully unaware of what was going on with this Haunted Road Trip, you missed one night. You missed our Tucson stop, but you have Bisbee and you have Tombstone left. We're staying in some pretty cool spots. We're staying in the Copper Queen Hotel in Bisbee, which is notoriously haunted, one of the most haunted hotels in the entire country. And we're staying in a little cabin thing in downtown Tombstone. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that goes. Make sure you head over, you check us out on all things social media. You can follow along at palehorsemediaco. That's the easiest way to get a hold of us for the podcast or for anything else. We've got tons of stuff that's happening over there. We have, obviously, Safety Sucks, Obscured, The Pursuit of Radical Self-Acceptance, all of my books. And I also have a book that's on pre-release. I guess that's not pre-release. Pre-order. There we go. Pre-order that comes out on December 1st called In His Name, which is a religious cult thriller. So go check that out. You can pick up all of those on Amazon or pre-order In His Name, at least the Kindle version. There'll be a paperback of it as well that comes out on December 1st. So go check out all of that stuff. Again, social media, yada, 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 all the stuff. Show us that love that helps us to continue to bring you this amazing content. I don't know if you can tell just how pumped I am for this Haunted Road Trip. It's going to be a blast. By the time you or by the time you're listening to this podcast, we will already have hopefully survived the first night, our first stop in Tucson, where we're staying at an amazing retro hotel that's got some years on it. I'm excited to get down there and ask the staff about ghosts and see what they have to tell us. And you can, as I said, you can go sign up for our stops in Bisbee and our stops in Tombstone. So both of those are notoriously haunted places. It's going to be a lot of fun. To kind of encourage some of this haunting, I acquired an SB7 spirit box that her daughter Avery has aptly named the Ghost Box, which she is not a fan of. So we're going to use that and see if we can, I guess, call to life some spirits. With everything being in such a rush to get on the road and make this trip happen, and side note, make sure you follow along on social media because I'm going to be posting all kinds of crap to Instagram, and we'll be doing Facebook Lives, I guess. I'm going to try to live stream a bunch of stuff and try to just do as much as I can. Again, you can go sign up for the events. They're totally free, but you can go sign up and connect with us for Zoom during the actual event, and that'll be a ton of fun. But if you don't feel like doing that, just watch for Facebook, watch for Instagram Live. I don't know where I'm going to do it at or where we're going to do it at, but we'll try to set up some phones to live stream stuff while we're podcasting and recording and doing all that fun stuff as well. I'm going to keep today's kind of tall tale supernatural event, whatever we want to call it, kind of short. And this one deserves a lot longer episode. I just want to touch on it as kind of a little bit of an appetizer, I guess, for when we actually dive into this story at some point in the future. But as you know, I've really been trying to focus on stories here local to Phoenix and Arizona. That's kind of the big push behind this doing this road trip here, is to touch some of the places in my backyard. And then we also keep it local to our other hosts. So southwestern Virginia, as you all know, that's where I grew up. But so my sister lives there, and we try to keep some of those stories kind of tied there as well. So we try to keep it in kind of the realm of our hosts as much as we can, at least here at the beginning. I think it's just fair to do our local areas the service of spreading their paranormal truths or rumors or whatever we want to call them to begin with right out of the gate. So today I wanted to bring up the story of Phoenix Lights. If you haven't checked out the Phoenix Lights, go Google it. There's video. You can watch it. And sometimes it's called The Lights Over Phoenix. And it was basically a widely cited set of lights or unidentified flying objects, what we call UFOs, that were observed over primarily Arizona, Nevada, and Sonora, the Mexican state of Sonora. So there was tons of varying descriptions and all kinds of stuff, but they were captured on video. So that's why I would tell you to go check them out. I wanted to touch base on a little bit of the timeline here. It's all in military time, and I suck at converting military time, so I'm just going to read it as it is, and if you want to do the conversion, you can. But at about 1855 PST, a man reported seeing a V-shaped object above Henderson, Nevada. He claimed that it was about the size of a Boeing 747 and sounded like rushing wind. It had 6 lights on its leading edge. The lights reportedly traversed northwest to the southeast. An unidentified former police officer from Paulden, Arizona, is claimed to have been the next person to report a sighting. After his leaving his house at 2015 Mountain Standard Time, he was driving north. He saw a cluster of reddish and orange lights in the sky, comprising 4 lights together and a 5th light trailing them. Each of the individual lights in formation appeared to the witness to consist of 2 separate point sources of orange light. He returned home, and through his binoculars, he watched the lights disappear over the southern horizon. The lights then moved over Prescott and the Prescott Valley, and that's kind of more northern Arizona from where we're at, and they were reportedly seen in that area around 2017 MST, Mountain Standard Time. And a bunch of callers started calling in and reporting an object, claiming that it was definitely solid because it blocked out much of the starry sky as it passed over. There was a gentleman that was standing outside with his wife and his sons, and they noticed a cluster of lights to the west-northwest of their position, and it formed this kind of wacky triangular pattern. But to them, all the lights appeared to be red, except the light at the nose of the object, which was distinctly white. They observed this object for 2 or 3 minutes with binoculars as well. It passed over, it was seen to bank to the right, and then disappeared to the southeast of the Prescott Valley. No one could really determine the altitude of the object, but it was fairly low at this point, and everyone claims that it made no sound whatsoever. At some point, the National UFO Reporting Center, so I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess there's a National UFO Reporting Center. They received the following report from the Prescott area. While doing astrophotography, I observed 5 yellow-white lights in a V formation, moving slowly from the northwest across the sky to the northeast. Then turned almost due south and continued until out of sight. The point of the V was in the direction of the movement. The first 3 lights were in fairly tight V, while 2 of the lights were further back, along the lines of the V's edge. During the northwest-northeast transit, one of the trailing lights moved up and joined the 3, and then dropped back to the trailing position. I estimate the 3-light V to cover about half of a degree of sky, the whole group of 5 lights to cover about 1 degree of sky. So then, we finally had this wacky thing, whatever this is, move in to our hometown, our current hometown, I guess, Phoenix, Arizona. Tim Lay, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, L-E-Y, Tim Lay and his wife Bobby, and his son Hal. Cool names. Somebody's got cool names. Tim Lay, Bobby with an I, and his son H-A-L, Hal. and his grandson, Damien, all cool names, Turnridge, first saw the lights when they were above Prescott Valley, about 65 miles away from them. At first, the lights appeared to them as 5 separate distinct lights in an arc shape, as if they were on top of a balloon. Then they soon realized that the lights appeared to be moving towards them. Then in the next 10 minutes or so, the lights appeared to come closer. The distance between the lights increased and took the shape of an upside-down V. Eventually, when the lights appeared to be a couple miles away, the witnesses could make out the shape, and it looked like a 60 degrees carpenter's square. With 5 lights set into it, with 1 at the front and 2 on each side. Soon, the object with the embedded lights appeared to be coming right down the street from where they lived, about 100 to 150 feet, let me get that out, feet above them, traveling so slowly that it appeared to hover and was silent. The object then seemed to pass over their heads and went through a V opening in the Peaks mountain range, Squaw Peak, it's a mountain range here, toward the direction of Sky Harbor International Airport. Witnesses in Glendale, so Glendale's a suburb of Phoenix. We've got all these like little smaller cities that surround Phoenix. Saw the object pass overhead at a high altitude, enough to be obscured by some of the thin clouds, which is kind of rare. We even have clouds in Phoenix. That was approximately 2030 and 2045 Mountain Standard Time. So it arrived in Phoenix, and we basically had a bunch of sightings in Phoenix. I'm just browsing through my notes and looking through this list, and there's just like a ton of different folks that saw it. From folks driving, there's a gentleman here. There's a cement truck driver that was hauling a load of cement down a mountain north of Phoenix, and he described the second group of lights. I'll never be the same. Before this, if anyone had told me they saw a UFO, I would have said, "Yeah, I believe in a tooth fairy." Now I've got a whole new view, and may just be a dumb truck driver, but I've seen something that don't belong here, this gentleman said. After Phoenix, there was a sighting in Kingman, who stopped his car by a payphone to report the event. He was en route to L.A. and saw this, and he stopped and reported it. There was also a reappearance in 2007. So the original Phoenix lights happened in 1997. Then you have another one in 2007. But it was apparently, it's said to have been debunked as being flares dropped by F-16 aircraft training at Luke Air Force Base. So we kind of live downtown. You kind of go to the west of us, what we call the West Valley, and you have kind of Glendale, Avondale, some other cities, all these kind of dales over there. And then you have massive Air Force Base over there, which is Luke Air Force Base. So that's entirely plausible. They do all kinds of training stuff out of there. But that was the official answer, was that this was some flares dropped by an F-16 coming from Luke Air Force Base. Then there was the 2007. Let me make sure that's understood. The 2007 reappearance. There was also a reappearance in 2008. The lights again were reported over Phoenix by local residents. These lights appeared to change from square to triangular formation over time. A Valley resident reported shortly after the lights appeared, 3 jets were seen headed in the direction of the lights. An official from Luke Air Force Base denied any U.S. Air Force activity in the area. On April 22nd, 2008, a resident of Phoenix told newspapers that the lights were nothing more than his neighbor releasing helium balloons with flares attached. This was confirmed by a police helicopter the following day. A Phoenix resident who declined to be identified in news reports stated that he had attached flares to helium balloons and released them from his backyard. And I'll just pause here and say, that's dumb if you live in the desert and it likes to catch on fire. Probably don't release flares attached to helium balloons unless you want to be the fucking idiot that starts a forest fire, or a brush fire. It's not a forest fire, I guess, in Phoenix. A brush fire. We have lots of brush fires. We have lots of wildfires. Let's not do that. So that one was quickly debunked as well.